What is going on? It is Friday.
This morning, unemployment rate came out. We were previously at 3.7, now pulling back down to 3.6, in line with the consensus. Forecast said we were going to be neutral. We actually came in better than the forecast. A little bullish that the unemployment rate's coming down, but I would like to have seen it come back to the 3.5 that we previously had. Non-farm payrolls coming in at 209,000. Previously was at 306,000. Consensus was at 225 and 250, and we didn't even come close to that. Average hourly earnings stayed static and neutral, and then participation rate staying static and neutral. So we're seeing a drop in unemployment, but we're also seeing a drop in the payrolls, which coming from retail, and participation staying the same. So money not coming up at all. No one's giving pay raises right now, it seems. Looking at trueflation down 4/100%, coming in at 2.44. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have quite a few liquidations here on the schedule. $121 million, 97 million of that was in long liquidation. So that's what we're seeing there, mostly in Bitcoin at 31 million being on that. Yeah, we're still sitting at 94.9%. So nothing really changing there. And I'm pretty sure if that's the same, all the others are the same. And we'll have to wait for next week for that CPI data and see what happens with the FOMC announcements.
55, not a huge change from yesterday. 56, but is trending more towards fear, so away from greed. And then the ads I got are for iPhones, which I haven't. I did buy an iPhone from Back Market, but it has been years. I don't know what they're thinking is going on with me, but we love to take a look at the ads here if you're just taking a because fear and greed loves to shill the ads.
I'm on a live while you're on a live, coordinating another live in your live chat.
Liveception. Live inception right there, man. Of course, you guys know we always use Chart Prime. Special shout out to them. Check out our link down below if you guys want a discount. You guys can see I have 2 new yellow boxes. Those who've been watching day in and day out here for Investing Bros, you guys know that we have been tracing. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them. You know, that's how confident I am in getting them right back up. You guys, we've been watching this kind of rising trading channel. I turned it into dashed lines here because I do have a question mark about it. Of course, it's because we dropped down to that red line we've been talking about. Yes, we dipped a little bit below it, but we seem to have found support at that same range, which kind of begged the question, is this actually a rising trading channel right now, or are we doing something a little different? Well, kind of gave you guys a little bit of a spoiler right there. We're going to go and use our boxes, and you guys will notice we have a lot of touches kind of in a more flat zone region. Of course, you guys know in technical analysis, we love using straight lines, but there's nothing magical about straight lines. In reality, when you're looking at TA, you're looking at zones is the real meat and potatoes of TA. And right now we have 2 different zones and they're actually flat. It's a little bit more than $1,000, but you're looking in the range somewhere here at the top end. Bitcoin's really wanting to stay above 29.8 or so. And again, we have some wicks that go above, but you know, about 31,230. That's a little bit over $1,000 range, but it's not that far above it. This is a nice little pocket. We're getting a lot of accumulation here. And you know, let's look at what the volume is doing. You guys can see outside of when we originally popped up into this, and then that one big wick. Yes, the ETF rejection is the only serious amount of trading that has happened within this zone. You guys can see stupid low trading happening here for Bitcoin. The question is that a positive thing or is it a negative thing? As for right now, I think we got to lean still in the camp of positive. Yes, we did lose 30,000. Yes, we dropped below the rising level of support that was the ascending trading channel, but it only kind of helped us form the last 2 big movements. Yesterday's big move up to new year highs, then last night's move down back below 30,000. That's what kind of helps solidify, hey, this actually is more of a sideways trading channel than it is an ascending trading channel. And any good technical analyst needs to continue to update and refresh and keep thinking through. You don't get stuck in your ways. Anyone who says that just because we broke negative out of this ascending triangle and therefore we have to be bearish, well, take another look. Sometimes it's good to back out, reassess, and sure enough, this is exactly what we're seeing right now. And you guys can see several touches within these zones kind of solidifying this is what we see happening here. So now we got to move on to oscillators, seeing what we're doing down here. I'm on the 4-hour chart right now. It was not super low necessarily. Our RSI did get below 30. The chart prime oscillator did not get that low, but you guys can see there's been several bounces and touches with these oscillators not really being that low. This is in fact the lowest we've seen both the RSI and the chart prime oscillator, and we did get that green reversal triangle. So that's a positive sign that we are seeing this morning. Let's take a look at what the daily chart's doing. I cannot speak highly enough about what I think when you see the price action more go sideways for a period of time, but you do watch your oscillators start dropping down. That's reloading. Now, a lot of things that happen in the news. We're going to talk about that in the news. Not only the comments from JPMorgan, we've seen some things and some data points coming out in the stocks. I know T. Shroom's going to cover treasury yields. That's going to play a factor in what we're seeing happen on Bitcoin. But when we're just looking at the Bitcoin chart here, we are seeing that there is some positivity. Cardano's kind of similar stuff we were looking at yesterday, guys. Just sitting here kind of boring. Again, I told you guys, if we get some bullish pressure on Bitcoin, maybe a pop up here to 38. I'm still looking, especially what we're looking at the economy. We're going to talk about this news later. I'm holding even more confident that this box that I've made a prediction for Cardano, 18 to 14 cent region, it's looking more and more likely every single day. Let's be positive, guys. It's Friday. Wouldn't you love to buy some Cardano at 18 to 14 cents? I know I am. I'm looking very forward to it. So don't be so negative. Let's not be pessimistic. Let's look at this as a good thing that we're going to get some great Cardano on sale. With that said, though, let's go ahead and throw it over to Piper and take a look at what Ethereum is doing this morning and anything else he's seeing that's popping off.
Let's get into Ethereum here and have a look. See, looks. So you can see what happened here yesterday, guys. See, what had happened was we had a little drop down here, broke below our upper trade band of the predictive ranges here. We did break down below what was support and made it into resistance. That pump up that we had yesterday night, actually got a rejection right off that trend line there before coming down. You can see it wicked all the way down to the blue delta of the predictive ranges here. That's like 50% line in between the two gold trade bands there. And that was where it was at. If we go ahead and we pull up the fibs, take a look at what's also there. That's the 786 aligning perfectly with that delta there. That is the bounce point that we got right now, though. It does look like we are fighting to get back above the dynamic reactor. We got a rejection on this last 4-hour candle here. Giving this that rejection, we do have the trend assist in the bright red telling us that we probably got more downside coming here, guys. On the multi-kernel regression, this is a free indicator from Chart Prime here. We did get that down indicator there on Monday, and we've just continued to follow that down with the retest of the broken horizontal support there. Taking a look here on the oscillators, you can see that currently right now we are looking like oversold. We did get the ribbon twist and we're coming out of that bullish zone, which is a bullish thing. We also got the reversal on the trend fusion oscillator, but we are not getting any of that engulfing that I like to see on the RSI Prime, guys. When I get those, I tend to be much more confident in the move. And the reason for that being is because money flow is not starting to curve yet. This blue wave that you see here inside of the trend fusion is money flow index, and it's still flat here. We're not getting that engulfing, and the fast mover and slow mover still pushing down despite the histogram coming up. That tells me that we might end up getting a divergence here, and it is possible we could come back for a double test on the 786 here. Nothing overly bullish, nothing overly bearish, little mixed signals. A lot of what we're seeing on the on Bitcoin too there. So
some of the bigger headlines here, just to kind of run through quickly. Lightning Labs unveils Bitcoin tools for AI. They said we are in the realm of enabling use cases that weren't previously possible. Lightning Labs CEO Elizabeth Stark told CoinDesk, so some exciting movement there. Some names I love to see together, Bitcoin and AI. Here's kind of a PSA. Posted this in our Discord this morning. Multi-chain team confirms exploit across Phantom, Moonriver, and Dogechain bridges. So, just something to be aware of. If you were a victim of this exploit, let us know. And then Sega executives ICE blockchain gaming plans calls play to earn boring. So Sega, the corporation, looks like they're getting out of that partnership that was kind of warming up to get into some of the gaming cryptos. Alibaba launches AI tool to generate images from text. That has been done, but it is remarkably a very Eastern company, Alibaba is. So that's something to note, is that AI is definitely on the rise in China. We've kind of had it here for a while, and our government has so graciously not banned it, but that has not necessarily been the case over in China and some of the other Asian countries that are a little more authoritarian of what technologies get disseminated to the public. So this is pretty big. Something just snapped. Consumer panic search for pawn shops near me. This would be a continuation in the validation of a narrative that's been ongoing, is that the American consumer may be showing weakness. And although jobs data does not show or indicate a recession, it could be actually the American consumer side that may be the first real canary in the cave mine, so to speak, of a recession. But then there's also some analysts who are saying that the strategist who called a recession after the regional banking crisis says it already happened and nobody noticed. The recession is actually behind us, and all of our indicators are incorrectly configured to try to identify the recession because we already happened and nobody really cared or knew. But one thing that is to note is that the heated debate about the U.S. recession is a moot point. The much bigger story is that a typical world recession has likely already started. So that's kind of the big one that is indicated, and people are believing that because global GDP growth is at 1.2%, which is anemic. That data from Oxford Economic Nowcast. The SEC approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF is unlikely to be a game changer for crypto markets, says JPMorgan. The reasons that they give are that spot Bitcoin ETF existed for some time outside of the US in Canada and Europe, but it failed to attract larger investor interest. I won't try to debunk why that's false, but just reading the reasoning from JP Morgan, but spot ETFs are more likely than future-based ETFs to reflect real-time supply and demand, and their approval in the US would bring more liquidity and enhance price transparency in spot Bitcoin markets. And then the last reason, the introduction of a spot ETF could lead to a migration of trading activity and liquidity away from US Bitcoin future markets to the extent spot Bitcoin ETFs replace future-based Bitcoin ETFs. Wow, you made it to the end of the video. Great job. Now, if you want more content like this, whether it be TA on Bitcoin and Ethereum or altcoins, or you just want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest news in crypto, then stay tuned and tune in to our 9 a.m. live show every single weekday morning. It's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when you tune in live, use the keyword grip strength in the chat, and you'll get a special shout out from anyone who's paying attention to the chat. Love to see you there.